let's not concern about the future, but I'll list my concerns for what I might see from this movie. Let's start with my biggest concern. My personal disagreements with the Falcon and the Winter Soldier writing. There's some pretty cool moments in there, some pretty redeemable stuff, but some of it, most of all, especially with Sam Wilson's development, I just can't really align with it. I'm sorry. Like, I could see why he's getting fed up, but really, in actuality, he shouldn't be fed up. He should be more surprised, more shocked. And it's like he took it personally when there's nothing really personal about it, like for, per se, Black Super Soldier, like defending one of your race's greatest heroes only to be done dirty by the government. And, that's nothing new throughout U.S. history. But why would Sam be mad about that if he just discovered it just now? And I understand why he would be very upset about it, but he just discovered that sort of evidence through Bucky, who he can barely get along with it. And it's also that sort of humor from Bucky and Sam, they can't coexist with each other, but they learn how to, and eventually they make up for it. But this one's just super cliche. But anyway, let's go back to Isaiah Bradley. I'm just listing what I thought was wrong with the series. Some stuff just needed more establishment. Some stuff was just taken for granted, and we're just forced to really mash it into our minds in order to make the story so good when it might slip out. Like, oh no, why was he mad for again? And it all makes sense. If I were to rewrite that Isaiah Bradley stuff, the backstory for Isaiah Bradley, all of that, keep it. But how I wish for it to impact Sam is, I don't have super soldier serum, and I get that my race has been done dirty in the past. But I am not like you, Isaiah Bradley. I understand you, and I align with you, but I am not you. I'm going to be my own soldier, my own guy that holds up the Captain America mantle. I will do you proud, but I got to do this on my own. Now, let's bounce back to Bucky and Sam, the screen chemistry they have. It is valid that Bucky would be upset with Sam for giving up the shield, because Steve entrusted Sam to be Captain America, only for him to give it to the government so that it may be honored for Steve Rogers. I wouldn't say it's the appropriate thing, but I would say it's an appropriate thing. And that's a great way to kick off the series as well. And if you wish to have that journey of Sam trying to get tailored for the Captain America mantle, I don't mind that, but I don't think this was as good as it should be. Because you're just creating problems just for the sake of making problems, and just to, he could have just been Captain America. Could have just jumped from Sam's journey from Endgame to Captain America Brave New World, and I don't oppose the series until, in retrospect, what we all saw. Not that I think the journey should be omitted, for viewing pleasures, trying to catch up, trying to view what the journey has gotten Sam to being more mature into his role. But if given the option to check it out or not, I would be more inclined to say no, unfortunately. And I really don't want to say no. I really want to say yes. I really want to enjoy the series as much as possible. But it just didn't hit me that way. I still enjoyed the series. And of course, I did the switch to turn the brain off in order to enjoy it. But that doesn't mean I'm going to forget, what happened back then in order to make these creative decisions a green light or a round of applause or something. And with those creative decisions to put that in the writing, it is now established as part of the MCU timeline. We have to press on forward, whether you like it or not. And there was plenty of opportunities to help Sam grow, to give like a unique treat of the between the gaps between Avengers Endgame and Captain America Brave New World with the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, wherever Sam's position is in the series. Like, make some pretty thorough writing. Like, to have him mature a bit, whether he is Captain America or have him, like, have the cojones to actually step up to the plate and wield the shield. And he's got a good cast of people to help him get there. Isaiah Bradley, as we already mentioned, the black super soldier that got done dirty. Bucky, Steve's best friend, who, felt insulted because, that's the last thing that he has from Steve is the shield, and he wants Sam to honor that, but he decided to give it away. And then when he gave it away, it got passed on to John Walker, who gives Sam that reality check that he should be Captain America, because what the heck did he do to it? He solves crimes by taking down terrorists with blood and murder and with the instability in his mind. And of course, like what Dr. Abraham Erskine said, when you take the super soldier serum, whatever's in your heart, it just amplifies. Good becomes great. Bad becomes worse. I'll miss that guy. And then, of course, when you got some weird mixtures of one of my guinea pigs is shaking the cage, he won't say. And of course, with John Walker's state of mind, how he feels insecure. Nobody's taking him seriously as Captain America. He was treated as a scapegoat, and not a lot of people have faith in him. At least he had his buddy Battlestar, But unfortunately, that wasn't enough for him to commit those actions that he did, which is kind of sad. And with Sam Wilson finally accepting the shield, it should have been more of a pinnacle of the show in episode 6 that results in episode 6. But it doesn't really feel like such, Instead, they sort of gave that highlight to Carly Morgenthau and versus Sam Wilson, the new Captain America. At least they should have made the John Walker thing more of the highlights if they're going to go for... Because here's what... Okay, let's break it down. One of my favorite things about Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings... We're going a little tangent, but trust me. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, third act. I know a lot of people are saying it's a CGI phase. It's kind of messy, like all this stuff that going on left and right. Let's focus on the monster scene. He's finally been bestowed the 10 rings because he knows how to wield it. He's bested his father. And his father honored him by giving him 10 rings before his life was being drained, his soul drained by that one monster. So he's basically a new hero. A new Marvel hero has just been crowned. How is he going to solve that problem? It was like, hey, Shang-Chi, you got those rings? You're a new hero. Now, look over there. How are you going to solve that? That's sort of like the mentality that I wish that this show should have had, Like, Sam, you're new Captain America. You just took down Batroc the Leaper. How are you going to save the citizens? And now, how are you going to solve Carly Morgenthau? Or, I don't know. There just needed to be balance in the writing of that. I don't think it was there. And I could say all my reasons, but I feel like it might be repetitive with all the other folks on everywhere commenting, reviewing the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and they're not wrong either. At least it's subjective, but that's what we're all thinking. Now, let's return to Carly Morgenthau. She had it unfortunate, with everybody returning from the blip, and homes were basically misplaced, and you got these people homeless and yada yada, and she had the one person she cared about that we never really met or knew about and died, and we're supposed to care for her. It's kind of hard to, Marvel. I don't know if you were paying attention, but I feel like that's what Sam Wilson should be helping Carly Morgenthau. Of course, you're gonna have some throwdown action. She's a super soldier, but Sam is a man of the people, as I previously mentioned. How is he gonna help Carly solve this? Whether she, spoiler alert for episode 6, whether she died trying to fight the cause or not. And as much as I love the speech power, I think it was kind of misdirected towards, something that's kind of felt a bit irrelevant because, there is a lot of stuff they have to figure out, and you kind of have sympathy for the government as well. It's like, you just don't understand was like, I'm a black man carrying the stars and stripes. What don't I understand? I was like, oh, look at all these intricate stuff, like we're doing the best we can. And then he tells her, like, you got to step up. It was like, what? What is going on? Like, I love the speech fighter. He's got, not speech fighter, speech power. And, it's like from one Captain America to another. It's got to be a thing. And I hope he has that in an Avengers movie at some point. But I don't think this was the right material to use that power on. It reminds me of the worst line in television ever video on YouTube. I don't know. There's like plenty of them from like WandaVision, The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. It's kind of entertaining. It's only like 15 seconds long. And of course, like somebody who's trying to help with problem solvings, we're going to go up to Sharon Carter. Let's not forget about her because, she's in Madripoor being the power broker, I believe. But she's stuck there because she assisted Steve Rogers' side and it kind of opposed on the Sokovia Accords. And, it kind of led them to being on the run, impacted Ant-Man, impacted Sam, the Avengers, or those set of Avengers. And we never really thought about Sharon Carter until these series. And it just kind of sucks, how she basically has to force her life into that sort of style. And, Sam trying to help out with a bunch of other stuff. He's attempting to right some wrongs, whether it be from other people in the past or like Steve Rogers, trying to do the right thing. But, we got to be more considerate of who it may impact. And that's where Sam comes in, so that he may help her. But it's kind of unfortunate that she kind of has other ideas when being brought back to the United States with open arms. Now let's talk about the test footage that they had recently before the movie came out. Well, I guess it was like some time ago. Where they had test footage for Captain America Brave New World to see how, if it's in the intended reactions, or if they're doing good progress, or if something's a bit wonky and they need some fixing. And there were some rumors out there that this test footage is not really doing it for me. And one of the biggest ones was it was kind of repetitive for the Falcon and the Winter Soldier of what Sam was trying to prove himself. Of course, he's going to be proving himself, but not being focused too much on it with Thunderbolt Ross. And yeah, just Ross, really. The biggest imposement there. But I think there should be like a refresher course for the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but just like a little throwback to back in the days when those events happened. But it should be like a quick summer up, not taking anything or much away when you're explaining how Sam got to where he is today. Because we're more focused on new storylines. We're in different concepts. We're going for new themes here. You don't want to waste it by just doing something that's repeated. And I got kind of concerned about that because Malcolm Spellman, he was the one who wrote The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. He's back here to collaborate as... What does he do in this movie? Let me check real quick. 30 seconds later. All right, so he co-wrote the story for Captain America Brave New World. And with, a lot of stuff that went down, the stuff that I disagree on, I don't know. It doesn't really soothe me, So I am at least begging that this movie is fresh when it comes to the writing, especially co-wrote by Malcolm Spellman. And of course, if you got the test footage and it doesn't really work well, you got to do reshoots or you got to touch up on stuff here and there. And I'm just hoping those reshoots are not in vain because they already have such a high budget as it is. And with higher budgets, you're going to have more of a hard time to break even, to make sure you get all that money back, the ones that you used up, so that you can make this movie succeed, so that it may be viewed, and the least of it for Disney to be enjoyed. Reshoots aren't really bad per se, but it does kind of make it alarming. It's like, oh, I hope they patch up this problem nice and dandy, so be good. But I just hope it also doesn't stand out So like, oh wait, his hairstyle is kind of a bit different, or like, oh wait a minute, there's something different about this shot. I mean, one of my favorite examples for reshoots was X2 X-Men United. There was the scene in the beginning where Wolvie is finally back in his home country of Canada looking at Alkali Lake, and there's this one particular shot that just stands out so much. It's like he had his eyebrows cut for some reason, but his eyebrows are still there. I don't know, it was just weird and pompadourous hair for Wolvie's hair, and it's just so off-putting. Like everything was natural except for that one particular shot. For those who know the movie too well, I'm pretty sure you know which one I'm talking about. It can come across as hilarious. It can come across as a little bit off the track, a little bit, taking you out of the moment. But hey, it's subjective. Sometimes with movies, whether something isn't intended or not, you just have a little kick out of it, It's a whole big world out there. And no, I'm not going to say Brave New World on that one. Alrighty, I think that might be all that's recurring in my noggin as we speak before I even check out the movie. I'm expecting to be let down. Who knows how many levels of letdownness. But the one thing I really want is some good action and just a decent movie in general. I'm not expecting it to surpass all the other Captain America movies. Hell, even the first Avenger. But I just want a good time with it, at least. And something that's not too painful to buy for my Marvel Cinematic Universe collection. And I do have a few more concern points on my treatment right here, but I feel like it might be a bit derivative and it might drag the conversation to low-like status. All that being said, I thank you guys for taking the time to listen to me rambling on of the weirdest imaginations of what my expectations are for Captain America Brave New World. And I'm hoping you guys have some fun with it too, even if it's like that bad kind of fun, like you would see in mediocrely made movies. With the status of expectations from everybody else, what is the one thing you really hope that the new Captain America movie might nail? That's what I'm kind of curious about. I guess that should do it. In that case, thank you guys. Take care. God bless and adios.